What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the 2 Point Bros podcast, episode 2. Matthew, we made it to the second episode.
I was not expecting that. I thought for sure after the first one, Giants, Patriots, it was just going to go south. I didn't think this was going to work out, but I'm happy we're here.
We did it.
Joking. No, always happy to be here on a good Sunday morning just talking about some football.
It feels good because, obviously, Sunday, May 18th, no football on TV. So this is a good way for us to supplement not being able to watch football all day.
Is the UFL on or XFL?
I need to get into it. That's such a good point. I actually saw clips yesterday, and I did think to myself, I feel like I'm missing potentially great ball.
Yeah, I'm 50-50 about it. We'll see moments of it. I'm more or less like if I'm in a hotel room and it's on, I feel like that's like peak time to turn it on.
Yep, which is, that's the way that goes.
Yeah.
But we have a couple things to talk about. Like we said in episode 1, May is still a pretty active month for the NFL as they work to basically feed us small bits of information throughout the whole year. But the biggest news was there was a couple contract extensions. So the first thing to talk about, and probably the biggest topic in my opinion, I'm going to pull it up here and show it. Brock Purdy. $265 million 5-year extension. What are the initial thoughts? I'll give you the floor on this.
What's crazy is just we're here already. You know what I mean? I just remember when Brock Purdy took over and everyone's like, Brock Purdy, what the heck? Is this going to work out? Like, what do you have to pay Brock Purdy the same amount of money you're paying Dak Prescott? Like, what? Like, how's this all going to work? And then it ended up happening. And I think Brock Purdy deserves this contract. I think just given the quarterback market, it's a fair contract, although they seem way too big in my opinion. Joe's, Dak's, Trevor Lawrence's, like they all seem way too big in my opinion, just for the team's sake. This is really going to either make or break the Niners in the next couple of years, because either Brock Purdy is that quarterback who can make a difference on the team without a great surrounding roster, or he needs that surrounding roster, and we're going to slowly start to see Brock Purdy kind of deteriorate as the Niners have to move on from people, which we already saw this last year in free agency. They lost like 10 of their big players who are huge game wreckers for them. So I think this was the right move. I don't know what else the Niners could have done, although I do think this could go south for them if Purdy isn't that player without all that elite talent around him, because it will start to all go away.
Brock Purdy's got to start carrying this team. There's a lot to take in here. I think for Brock Purdy, he was the last pick in the 2022 draft. Yep. He's been grossly underpaid for the past few years, and he has outperformed a lot of quarterbacks. I mean, you look at guys like Dak Prescott, Jordan Love, and Trevor Lawrence, and Tua, and you can argue, Brock should be paid more than those guys. Brock has done more. Brock has taken a team to a Super Bowl. Brock has accomplished as much as Joe Burrow. And that's I'm happy for Brock, but I believe, and I'm bold opinion, I think the 49ers just basically sunk the next 5-6 years.
I know. I knew you were going to have that opinion just because I know we've talked about Brock. I'm a little bit more of a Brock Purdy fan, but I don't disagree with you with this.
Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, best play caller on offense or second best in the NFL. Always had a top 2 or 3 defense with Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, some great cornerbacks. I think Brock Purdy was put in a situation where you think Brock Purdy sits in Mac Jones's situation on the Patriots or Daniel Jones's situation on the Giants. Is he really going to outperform them?
I mean, Sam Darnold was on that team 2 years ago, and he never took over the starting job. So,
which is shocking.
Sam Darnold's. Well, maybe that does show how good Brock Purdy is. Maybe you do stick someone like Brock Purdy on the Vikings, and all of a sudden it's an insane season. You know what I mean?
Well,
I think people would say Darnold and Brock might have a kind of like an equivalent quarterback skill set at this point in time, although I think Brock Purdy's a lot better personally. I think Sam still has some stuff to prove. But I think Sam Darnold backing up Brock Purdy that whole year and Sam never really going into the starting job, I think proves a little bit of Brock's caliber as a quarterback, honestly, because if he was sucking or struggling, Sam looked decent in practice, they would have started him.
You're right. And here's the thing to take away from this signing. Obviously, John Lynch and the head coach. I'm not gonna remember his name because we're doing a podcast. Who's the head coach of the Niners?
Kyle Shanahan.
They obviously have the utmost faith, and they believe Purdy can achieve what he did a few years ago going to the Super Bowl, and not playing his best game, but not playing the worst game I've ever seen, but not playing the best game I've ever seen either. They obviously have a lot of faith in him, and so that you have to respect. But I mean, if we take a step back from the Brock Purdy case, I mean, there's only two quarterbacks on here that deserve to be here. I don't know if you can see this. And the best quarterback, arguably, no, two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL aren't on here. Jalen Hurts isn't on here, and Patrick Mahomes isn't on here, and Lamar Jackson isn't on here.
Nope.
I mean, I just, you know, I understand the quarterback market, and each player wants to make more than the last one, but there's going to be a point where a team puts their foot down and says, no, you are not performing the same way Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, you're not performing at that level. We are not going to pay you that much. Even though we do believe you're a franchise quarterback, you have to understand we need to put pieces around you. That doesn't mean that they're not good quarterbacks, but Dak Prescott, for example, is the best example of this. Dak Prescott sucked up all the cap space from the Cowboys, gets injured, and that team cannot perform. There is no talent besides two other players, CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons, who, by the way, Micah is still not paid. So, to me, it's just like, I think, yes, on one standpoint, like, Brock deserves the money, but these players, they're making too much, and there's gonna be a point where, you know, like the Packers or the Packers, the Jaguars, or the Dolphins are all gonna be like, hey, what are we doing? And we need to move off this contract. I just don't know when that first team's gonna do it. It'll be. I'm so interested to see when that happens, but
yeah, I agree. I do love is out of all of the quarterbacks who get paid more than $50 million a year average, only one has ever beat Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I guess two have. Joe Burrow did beat him in the AFC Championship, but Jalen Hurts is the only quarterback getting paid more than $50 million to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And no one else has. And honestly, I'm looking at the names and some of the people. I'm not sure who's gonna.
No, I'm with you. I think I'm happy for Purdy. I guess I want to do a quick would you rather. And so you have a team, and Brock Purdy's your quarterback, and I'm going to give you other quarterbacks, and you tell me who you would take.
Ooh, okay.
So, I mean, let's start going through this list here. Tua Tagovailoa or Brock Purdy?
I think I'd take Brock.
Trevor Lawrence or Brock Purdy?
Just from what I've seen, Brock.
Jordan Love or Brock Purdy?
This is now where it's like, all right, because I think Jordan Love is slightly a better quarterback. I just think last year he played through injuries. But again, I want to see more, and I guess, honestly, I need to know if I have a number one wide receiver and a number one running back, because then I'll be like, all right, Jordan Love. If I don't, Jordan Love. If I do, Brock Purdy. But I'll just stay Brock Purdy for now, because I've always been a Brock Purdy fan.
So it's on the 49ers. You put this quarterback on the 49ers instead of Brock Purdy.
Okay, yeah, Purdy. I'll stay with Purdy, though.
I mean, Josh Allen. Easy.
Josh Allen.
Joe Burrow,
yeah.
Let's start moving backwards.
Honestly, I think Dak, I don't like the Cowboys at all. Dak really padded his stats with that one season. He almost won MVP because they played from behind a lot and they had no run game, so he was just hucking the ball to CD every chance. But I do think Dak's a decent quarterback just on the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are cursed as long as Jerry Jones is there.
So who are you taking, Dak or Purdy?
I think Dak. I hate to say it, but I do think Dak's a slightly better quarterback at the end of the day.
What about Jared Goff?
Going back really quickly, I think I might take Love over Purdy as well. That one I'm still 50-50 about, though. That's difficult in my opinion, but I think I might take Love.
What about Jared Goff?
Give me the Goffense.
Herbert?
Give me Herbert.
Yeah, I mean, Hurts.
Yeah, and then now we're going to get to some players who you're like, all right, I'll take Purdy. I take Purdy. For Mahomes, obviously Mahomes. I take Stafford. I might take Geno.
Wow! I'd take Purdy over Geno, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm really low on Purdy.
I think I'd take Purdy still, too. I think that's an interesting one. I think, like, Geno and Purdy, Although very different players, it's sort of similarly ranked in terms of just quarterbacks. And then yeah, I'd take Purdy. I'd take Baker over Purdy. I like Baker Mayfield a lot.
Yeah.
I'd take
Yeah.
Baker over Purdy.
Yep. Yep. Agreed. I think to wrap this one up here, I think it's really just I think it's just Purdy's got to perform, and he didn't do it last year, so it's just kind of shocking to me that the 49ers, they have a lot of faith, man, because they said, hey, we know last year wasn't great, but you took us to a Super Bowl a few years ago, so we're still high on you, and it's okay. All right, let's see. You're in a division where I would argue the Rams have gotten better. I would argue the Cardinals are a sneaky good team. I don't know if there's any Cardinals fans listening, but you guys are building a good team. I'd say the Cardinals are similar to the Giants and the Patriots in a lot of ways. Very under the radar teams that I think are going to win games and make people lose those like betting pools of who's going to win games. And then the Seahawks, who, by the way, Sam Darnold's over there, and we'll see what happens. So.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's just interesting. The last thing about the contracts, it's just interesting that with quarterbacks, the market is so weird with who gets paid the most and what the contracts get done. When if you look at any other position, it's always the best. Like, who's the most paid wide receiver? Justin Jefferson. You know, like it makes sense because everyone gets scaled to their actual position in their ranking, so they get paid appropriately. And just quarterbacks don't. Quarterbacks just get paid a ton of money because the value is sadly there. And at any given time, Trevor Lawrence could have that generational season we all thought he was going to have. Potentially year 1, year 2. So I get it, but it also just sucks because you can tank a team.
I think sometimes quarterbacks get paid on what they're gonna do in the future, not what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of other positions get paid on what they've done, not what they're gonna do.
Yes.
And
completely.
and I get it. Quarterback is the most important position. As a Giants fan and a Patriots fan, no one knows better how important the quarterback position is than maybe these two franchises. I mean, we literally have Super Bowls in the past 10 years, past 20 years on the backs of quarterbacks. So we get that, but there's going to be a day where a team just goes, we're not paying you that. No. And it felt like the 49ers could have been that first team. They could have been like, I mean, we got Mac Jones, who secretly Shanahan may have wanted more than Trey Lance, and he's making pennies on the dollar, and we're going to keep Greenlaw, we're going to keep, Debo, and, we're going to keep our offensive linemen, and, good luck, Purdy. And that's so, but they have the faith, and so, you know what? Totally fine.
No, I agree. I thought the Niners would have done it too. It just felt like with Purdy, it didn't feel like that stardom. Not that like he's like the stardom had gotten to him. He wanted all the money. Obviously, you want all the money. It's your job. This is a business. You go to work to get money. You know what I mean? He's playing football as work to get money. So I get it, but also it did feel like the Niners, because of that super team they had about 2 years ago, it felt like they were going to try to retain that team as much as they could because they were going to win a Super Bowl with that team. But it seems like that window. Well, actually, I do want to ask that question. Has this Niners Super Bowl window closed?
Absolutely. Yep. It is closed shut. It closed when the Rams became the best team in that division. I think a Super Bowl window opens when you own your division. Like the Buffalo Bills, their Super Bowl window will be open as long as they own the East. I'm just joking.
But
I believe that's really where it starts.
Totally.
So
no, I believe you.
And so the Rams getting that quote unquote best team in the NFC West, that closes the 49ers window. They could still get there, but the window is closed. I think they've enough talent has left or aged just quickly, let's just talk about another one here just for the sake of time. Let's talk about
moving around.
I don't even know if I have a picture of it, so I guess we'll keep it off. But Derrick Henry gets a 2-year, $30 million extension. I'll open this one up. The Ravens are just such a well-run organization. It's almost frustrating. And I'm just happy I have no personal beef with the Ravens because it would be maddening. It's like having beef with the Eagles. Like, I've kind of had to settle my beef because they are so well-run. I'm just like, you know what? Howie Roseman's the best GM in the NFL. Jalen Hurts is a top 3 quarterback in my opinion, and I'm done hating on them. Do I like them? No. But the Ravens are another team like this. Derrick Henry came for pennies on the dollar, and this guy takes good care of his body. He loves ball. Generational talent. And the Ravens are like, okay, fair enough, come play. And then what do? They reward him for basically a 2,000-yard season. So it's just a great move by the Ravens. I'm happy for Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley like actively are repairing the running back position in the NFL and adding value to it. So these guys are doing a lot of work that I don't think they get thanked enough for.
It's just so funny to see this compared to their AFC North rival, the Bengals. And I know the running back position and I'm pretty sure Trey Hendrickson is an edge. I'm not sure of his exact position. He probably moves all around. But that position, just because they aren't even talking to him, they don't want to pay him what it's worth, even though he's led the league in sacks last 2 years. And that's not the greatest thing in the world. Sacks aren't the most important thing at the end of the day in terms of a defense, but it's really helpful. 17 sacks is very helpful to help you get a winning season. And then Derrick Henry goes and performs, and the Ravens are like, "Yep, you did it for us. Here's money." It's just like, you're right. That is how a good organization runs. It's like a player comes in on a low contract, still fairly high, but a low contract for a running back at that position, and then he has this amazing season. They're like, "All right, yeah, we'll pay you and keep you around for the next couple of years." That's just good business. And not only that, I've heard a couple people. I think Derrick Henry's going to be like 32 this coming year, maybe
31.
Maybe, 31. I've heard people be like, "Well, what happens when he falls off a cliff?" Well, he just rushed for like 1,900 yards. I think at first it'll be like 1,400 yards, which I'd still pay a running back who's going to get me 1,400 yards that buddy. So I think it's a great contract. I think the Ravens are just a great organization. I think again, if they just can fix up that offensive line slightly, because it had some issues towards the end, and if they can fix up those drops, this is a team that, again, every year could go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they got to get that wide receiver. I don't know how they do it, but Zay Flowers got to step up. Lamar's got to step up. I mean, we watch the Bills every year beat them we don't need to go into the Ravens too much, besides they're a very well-run organization, and I'm happy for Derrick Henry. I remember I got into the NFL when Derrick Henry was first coming in, drafted by the Titans, and his first couple seasons were bad. Like they were like, wait, what the heck? This kid comes out of Alabama under Nick Saban, very high draft pick, and did not perform. And it wasn't until Mike Vrabel got to the Titans that they truly unlocked Derrick Henry. And then Henry's career has been great, but just shocking. Those years in your youth, he was not great. And now those years kind of on the twilight of his career, he's outperforming just about everyone. I mean, so
yeah. I mean, it's strange to Gino slightly.
Yeah.
There's a ton of players who just, maybe that's a little bit more to the situation, but there's a ton of players who just need to be in the league for a little bit and just get their footing. Some people I think could just take off running, and other people kind of need to walk towards it.
Yep, absolutely. So happy for Derrick. Wanted to give him a shout out here. Ravens are gonna be a fun team to watch this year. So
always.
Let's talk about the NFL schedule here. So there's a lot going on with the NFL schedule, and I think this will probably eat up the rest of our podcast, to be honest with you, because we already did a video on the Giants, so we're going to kind of glaze over them a little bit today. But I really wanted to talk about...
You guys had a really easy schedule. The Giants had a really easy
It's going to be a cakewalk. Yeah, we're going 14-2. We'll see or 14-3. We'll see you in the second week of the playoffs. No, Giants have a horrible schedule, but... Again, we've talked about that. I'll put a link down below for any Giants fans. The teams I want to talk about, I want to talk about the Chiefs. I want to talk about the Cowboys. I want to talk about the Eagles. And let's talk about the Patriots, too. Obviously, you got a big Patriots flag behind you, so it's only fair. But, I mean, these teams, the NFL has come out and said, you know what? If you're not good, no primetime games. None. Titans draft Cam Ward, the number one. Nope, none.
No primetime games.
None.
Again, the NFL forgot the Titans drafted Cam Ward. They're still like, wait, where'd Shador Sanders go?
Yeah, where's Shador? Yeah. I mean, so Titans have none. The Saints have none. And then the Browns have none. There's zero. And I do have to give the NFL a little credit. There's games, again, we talked about this, I think, last podcast. Like, I will never forget a Thanksgiving night watching the Dolphins and the Packers being like, why the hell are the Dolphins on?
Yeah, that was such a bad game. I remember that. That was horrible.
And so it's things like that. But you know what? That made me remember something here, and of course I need to pull it up. I want to pull up NFL primetime games.
Oh yeah.
So do you have any more comments, I guess, to add? Yes, yeah, this is a great one right here. Let me share my screen. I know you probably have more to add, but can you see my screen?
Yep, I can see your screen.
Let's see if we can get this picture on a new tab. Yeah, this is perfect. So, okay. So you look down here, the Browns, the Saints, and the Titans don't have any primetime games. And let's just be logical. Fair, okay? They're not great teams. Why the hell do the Falcons have 5?
Yeah, no. I mean,
What have they done?
That's just so weird. Is Michael Penix, like, I guess there's not a ton of hype going into a second season because we didn't see a whole lot last year. Maybe some people are really high up on Michael Penix and genuinely Bijan Robinson is a beast and very underrated on that team. Dude rushed for like 16 touchdowns and 1,800 yards last season. So I can get it from Bijan's perspective, but yeah, that team is frustrating year in and year out with the decisions and how they play the game, in my opinion. And we're just going to see it on primetime because I hate the Falcons. They're one of my least favorite teams. So I hate the fact that they have 5 primetime games to watch.
Let me ask you
how could the Falcons have 5 and the Rams have 4? I know that's a 1 difference, but like the Rams, the LA Matthew Stafford, like, what are we talking about here?
Matt, how do the Falcons have 5 and the Titans have 0? I want to watch Cam Ward over every player on the Falcons.
I don't disagree with that either.
It's like, okay, I'm excited to watch Cam Ward, number 1 pick, played amazing in college. I want to watch him. What? I cannot believe it. It is insane to me. I think, again, the Dolphins at 4... I'd rather watch the Browns. A Browns-Steelers game, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is on the Browns. That is a fun game. There's nothing fun about the Dolphins.
No, I don't know about a Browns-Steelers
Oh my
game.
God, last year the snow game? Come on.
Okay. They don't got Jameis Winston there anymore. Just hucking balls. Usually those AFC North battles are just defense and ugly for like 3 hours. You're just like, oh God.
I love those games. And the Browns, each quarter could play a different quarterback. It would be a blast.
It's true. That actually would be a ton of fun. But what I at least understand about the Falcons is that you can at least convince yourself that the Falcons are on an upward trajectory. That there might be some really interesting games. Billy disagrees. You can at least convince yourself. There's a young quarterback there. There's a new head coach there. They have a star running back. The Dolphins are doing this. Every game, the Dolphins are going to get worse, in my opinion. Like, it's not going to be good. At least the Falcons are young. There's something there potentially that I don't think is going to happen. But it could, similar to the Panthers right now, there's something there. They're young. They could figure something out. I feel like I'd want the Panthers to have more primetime games too, which I think is an interesting thing to say. Just at 1? At least the Colts and Jags are at 1 and the Raiders are at 2. I think all those make sense. Patriots and Giants at 3.
Let's take a moment. When you're the fan of a football team, you want as few primetime games as possible.
Yeah.
And so this is good,
Depends.
Matthew. This is good. And here's the other thing about the Patriots-Giants, just quickly. One of the primetime games, we're playing each other.
Is us.
Both fan bases feel good about playing the other one. The Patriots go, we're going to smack the Giants. And the Giants, I said it in my video. Yeah, Patriots, they're a good team. But that defensive line against the Patriots' young offensive line is going to be tough. And I don't care what anyone says. And so now we only have 2 primetime games. But either way, the Dolphins at 4 feels ridiculous. The Falcons at 5 is blasphemy. I mean, I cannot believe that. And especially, they're not in a compelling division. Like, you're telling me, I don't know what their primetime games are, and I'm not going to look it up on principle. But let's just go to the next one here. We don't even need to look at the schedule. This is undeserved. I am tired of the Cowboys on primetime. I get it. America's team. They are not America's team. I am tired of the Cowboys. And by the way, the Eagles-Cowboys game on opening day, that Thursday night game on September 4th against the Eagles, is not going to be close. The Eagles are going to stomp them.
It's not going to be close. Unless, there's always the Super Bowl hangover, which happens. The Rams, that last year they won the Super Bowl, they went out and just stunk that whole season. Although they did end up having the 3 stars get injured. But, no, honestly, Cowboys, 6 primetime games, not a great team. The sky's blue today. The grass was green. I woke up, I breathed. Like, my expectation is, like, they're probably going to have 10, so the fact that they only have 6 is kind of nice.
The fact we have to watch them on Thanksgiving and Christmas is so annoying.
Yeah, no.
What are we
time,
doing?
I can only hear, yeah, here we go, so many times before I'm just like, I gotta mute it. I gotta turn down the volume. I can't do it anymore.
It's not even. It's not even that. It's then you get Troy Aikman, the quarterback for the Cowboys, back when they were relevant in like 13-10. Back, it's BC.
And Joe Buck up there.
Yeah, BC.
Joe Buck up there.
And they're up there and they go, man, Dak's really looking good. He's really feeling good this year. He's bet on that sleep number mattress. He's going out there. You know, you got CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. It's a team for destiny, man. It's a team of destiny. Fourth quarter, they're getting stomped. And it's like, all right, well, now what are you going to say, you jerks? Jesus, it's just, I'm so tired of it. It's just getting old. Like the Chiefs, I don't like the Chiefs. The Eagles, I don't like the Eagles. They deserve all the primetime games. Those are compelling. Those are the creme de la creme of football. Those are like the best rostered teams. The Bills deserve it. The Lions deserve it. The Ravens, they should be 5. But it's just the Cowboys.
I even think, I don't love the Bears at 4, but I even think the Bears at 4 is a little bit
Well,
acceptable.
they're compelling.
Yeah, exactly. What the excitement is. I can agree with that, but again, I don't know what you're expecting. Like I mean, next year they're gonna have even more. Like I don't know. Like it's what they do. It's the NFL.
All right,
the Cowboys are annoying, and they're gonna be a bumper sticker on the back of everyone's car for years. So that's all they are.
Yeah, let's just delete that tab. We gotta talk about the Chiefs. The Chiefs' schedule is disgusting. The Chiefs are really gonna have.
I haven't looked through this. I've not looked.
Well, so the Chiefs are just gonna have a tough year because they've lost so many pieces, like we talked about, coming off a Super Bowl loss. Everyone ramps up to play them, and they have to play. On Christmas, they're playing, so what is that, December 25th against Denver, which, by the way, is not an easy game. They have to play Thanksgiving against the Cowboys. That is an easy game, but they're playing Thanksgiving. And then they're traveling to a few different places, too. I believe, what were some of the other... Yeah, so... this is hard to see, which stinks.
I know, yeah, it's very blurry.
I think Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night, Sunday night, Monday night, Thanksgiving, Sunday night. I mean, just primetime after primetime. There's no schedule they're going to get into. They are always getting ready for a primetime game. And the Chiefs rightly deserve this, but it is going to be interesting to see the fatigue that gets put on these players. They can't get into any rhythm. I mean, we saw Tom Brady at the end of his career. When it was a late night game, he was getting tired. Like, he couldn't remember the downs. So it's just going to be interesting to see how they handle this.
That one moment will live on in infamy for Brady.
Poor Brady.
I still think about it from time to time.
Yeah.
That Week 1 Chargers game is an international game.
Yes.
Yes. I was
in Brazil.
I was just looking at the international games. I don't know if it's Brazil.
I thought it was. Yeah, I think it's Brazil.
I think the Brazil game was someone else, but I might be wrong. What I'm looking at right now doesn't show the
yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, that first one is an away game. Cause a out of states game, just because I thought they didn't get any, which I thought would have been really weird for the Chiefs with how popular Taylor Swift is and Travis Kelce. I'm like, all right, they're definitely going to get an overseas game, and they did. Week 1 Chargers, which should be a great game. The best thing I can say about the Chiefs right now is that the division is finally getting more and more competitive. Everyone in that division just upgraded slightly, whether the Chargers last year, the Broncos last year, or the Raiders this year. So the division's going to be a lot more competitive. Although, yeah, the Chiefs going to probably smoke all of them. Yeah, probably.
We'll see. I think one of my bold takes, and we'll set up a podcast when things quiet down here. We're going to have like bold predictions for the season. I don't think the Chiefs win their division.
Yeah, I would love to say that, and I think I get why you're saying that off last
it's called
year,
bold.
But I'm not there yet.
It's called bold. Got to be bold. Either way, the Chiefs, they're just traveling a lot of primetime games. There's going to be a lot of fatigue. It's going to be very interesting later into the season what this looks like. And then same with the Eagles. They don't have one home game. They don't have 2 home games in a row. So the Eagles go road, home, road, home, road, home, road, home, bye, road, home, road, home, road, home, road. Oh, I guess right here are these 2 home games?
No, I don't think. Oh, I think that's what it means when they're both. Yeah, they're both like that. Yeah, I had heard maybe it was the Ravens. I'd heard it was either. I don't know why I always mix up those 2 bird teams, but I heard either the Eagles or Ravens had like a schedule where it was back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah, well, either way, this is disgusting as well. I mean, this is a tough schedule just from you are never going to be home for 2 weeks.
No, yeah, that is terrible. I hope the Eagles don't fall under any form of a Super Bowl hangover this year.
I do.
Although again, I know you do. I know you do. You can be quiet over there. But I'm just hoping that I'm just hoping that Saquon Barkley and everyone can step it up. And it seems like who they drafted, a couple of those players can maybe make an impact week 1.
Let's hope.
Although looking at this schedule though, this is a tough schedule. Rams, Vikings, Lions, Bears, all in the regular season.
And again, the reason the Chiefs Super Bowl window's open is they own their division. They'll beat the crap out of the Cowboys. They will sweep the Giants this year. If the Giants beat the Eagles, that'll be my Super Bowl. I will be like
it's the Commanders.
Yep.
It's the Commanders is the only team in that division, and we both think they're going to take a very slight step back next year just because they had no expectation last year, and now they have all the expectation this year. So they're just going to meet somewhere in the middle. But we might be wrong about that. Jaden Daniels, I mean, that dude surprised me every game he played towards the end of the season. So.
I think the Eagles and the Chiefs, they deserve these primetime games. Again, I'm just going to take that big sweeping brush of an opinion here. It's going to be really interesting to see how fatigued these teams are. So, for example, you get the Eagles going in against the Raiders on week 15, and the Raiders have how many? 2.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be very interesting to see where the Raiders are and where the Eagles are. So, but, I mean, you get to know now NFL teams pay a lot of money to their training and conditioning staff, so it'll be obviously people get paid for a reason to do those things, but that is a tough gauntlet. Again, though, unlike the Cowboys and the Falcons, the Eagles deserve the schedule, and it is the NFL is saying, hey, we are here to make money. We are not going to play the Saints on primetime football. We would not do that if there's no way. And so I guess give them credit because I don't want to watch the Saints, but I also don't want to watch the Falcons. I want to watch the Titans. That'd be fun. So
I think again, I just because of the rookie quarterback and just they have talent on that team. Like I don't disagree with you. I hate the Falcons, but I do understand at least like 3. Like that makes sense to me just from where they are and where they can be in the next coming years. But yeah, 5. Yeah, many as the Niners and Lions and Packers. Yeah, that's a lot. I don't want to watch the Falcons that much. I like I said, genuinely, Falcons are one of my least favorite football teams just because they're so annoying every year with what they do. Like drafting, signing Kirk Cousins and then drafting Michael Banks. Just like, all right, here we go. Here come the headlines. Like, God.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, let's talk about the Patriots.
All right. I've looked through this schedule a couple times now.
It feels great.
Yeah, trust me. I hate what I'm going to say. So what I'm going to say isn't going to come true, but I have gone through the schedule a couple times now, and twice I've counted 11 wins for the Patriots. Now, that's not going to happen. But I'm just looking at the games, and I'm like, all right, let's look at the divisional ones. Let's take the 2 Dolphins games, losses. Are we better than the Dolphins? We're going to have to wait to see. The Dolphins just have our number. We lose to the Dolphins twice this year. But we beat the Jets once. I think the Jets will probably get us at home. That's still a good defense. And then the Bills, I think, are the interesting ones where you can still say we lose twice to the Bills, although we always play them very competitively, no matter how good they get, other than that one playoff game like 3 years ago. But I think if you look at the Raiders, Steelers, Saints, Titans, Browns, and Falcons, those 5 games,
wins.
There is a chance we could get all 5 of those games, but I personally think we're at least going to drop one of them. Or if not 2.
I mean,
I think all those games right there look very winnable. And it's just like you look at our division, and we might get some wins in our division, and you look at all those games we're playing, all of a sudden it's not hard to convince yourself that this is a team that maybe could win 9 games.
Yep, I mean, I said Patriots could be a playoff team. I really like them. I'm super jealous of your schedule. You guys really lucked out. I think 4 1 p.m. games is awesome. And the thing is, the Giants were worse than the Patriots last year. So how is our schedule harder? Besides, our schedule's harder because we pulled the NFC North and the AFC West. Those divisions are shitty. So that's why. And you guys pulled the AFC South and the NFC North, which aren't as bad.
That season you guys did go to the playoffs with DJ, was that a tough schedule for you guys, or do you not remember? Because I to my memory, you guys were winning a lot of games by like 1 or 2 points.
It was a pretty tough schedule, actually. And the thing is, you look at schedules, and the Raiders, for example, could be dominant this year. Like, everyone thought last year the Vikings were going to be really bad, and then week 1 we played them, the Giants, and we got our butts kicked. So, what you think and what actually happens, but on paper, this was like a great schedule. You guys could be, by week 5, 4-1.
Yep, I completely agree with the loss to the Dolphins there.
No,
Especially
I'm
at
taking a
Miami.
loss. I'm taking a loss to the Bills. I think you guys are gonna beat the
All right, then
Dolphins.
we're in Miami. No,
Okay,
the best Patriots team couldn't do that against Ryan Fitzpatrick.
if week 3 if week 5 you're 3-2, that's awesome.
Yeah, agreed.
The way teams make the playoffs, especially teams like the Patriots and the Giants, is you need to win games early. You need to build win. Like the Giants, when they went in 2022, were 6-1.
Yeah,
And then they started losing games and finished 9-7. But they got all these wins early that got them to the playoffs. So no, I mean Patriots. I mean I would say Raiders is an easy win. Panthers is a win. Steelers and Dolphins will be battles. I'm not saying, but you could win them. Bills is a battle.
I agree.
Saints is a win. Titans is a win. Browns is a win. Falcons
could be a win.
It is. It's a battle. I'm saying battle like, hey, it could be a game. Bucks,
Yep.
I could see you losing to the Bucks. Jets,
we lose to the Bucks.
Jets
We could beat the Jets there at home.
beat the Bengals last year. Beat them last year.
Week one. We know the Bengals. A week 1 Bengals team versus a week whatever Bengals team.
Fair.
That's just two different teams. The only thing that has me bumming is I do agree with you. You got to win some games early on. Like if the Bengals did beat the Patriots early on last year, I think some things would have been different. But it's all about how you end your season. That winning streak you can go on going into the playoffs, having that hot streak. I don't like Bills, Ravens, Jets, Dolphins to end this schedule. That's difficult in my opinion.
That's a great segue. Can we jump to the Giants? Because that is where the Giants have some winnable games. Our last 4 games, in my opinion, are very winnable. And
yeah, the 3 of them.
And yeah, you could go 3-1 in the final 4 games.
Yeah.
Again, 2 division games are so important. And that's where it gets tough. Is division games are important, and you could be 0-2 in the division going into week 3.
Yeah, that's difficult.
And then you have to play the Chiefs on your home opener at 8. Why is that the primetime game of week 3?
The Giants are just a big enough market. I hate to say it. It's a business. It's money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what's a bigger market right now?
You can be up
Giants or Jaguars.
You can be up in the middle of nowhere New England and have a Giants fan sitting here screaming about him. So that's why they do it, right?
Exactly.
But I just, every game here you could lose. I think the only game that's clearly winnable is the Saints. Like the Giants, they're gonna have to produce. It's all on Shane Bowen and the defense. You have an amazing defense on paper. Go make Jaden Daniels and Dak Prescott wish they didn't have to play the Giants again. Like you need to do that.
So when would you start Dart in this season? Looking at the schedule, would you start Russ week 1? Was that your mindset right now?
Yes, I think you keep Russ, you keep Jameis, DeVito you cut, bring him onto the practice squad. You have 3 quarterbacks, and I think Russ and Jameis play most of the season. Now I'll say this as always: I trust Dable and Shane. If let's say you get to week 4 or week 5 and you're 0-4, and you want to let Dart start against the Saints. Heck yeah. If you believe he's ready, then I'm behind it. But just do it when you think he's ready. Don't rush him. That's all I'm saying. And it would just be really cool. And then I'll get off my Giants wagon here. It'd be really cool if the owner of the Giants could come out and be like, hey, no matter what, Shane and Dable are safe for another year. That way, we wouldn't rush the quarterback. And so...
Yeah, I get that. And as a Giants fan, I think I would think the same thing, but I think the way the NFL works, it's just it can't do that. You know, if there's a chance to get better in the offseason, and it's by getting rid of those 2 guys, then it's just going to have to be. And I don't know if that's necessarily getting better at all. But it's just the NFL stands for not for long. So as much as I would love to give people time, I know, again, I feel like other Patriots fans always give me a little bit of hate for this, but I wasn't against giving Gerard Mayo more time. I'm happy where we are now. Would I go back and say, oh, I'd rather Mayo over Vrabel? No. But like at the same time, it's like you don't have that time. You have to produce week 1, and if you're not, they have to move on and find someone who will. And that's just the way the business works, which is increasingly frustrating in my opinion, but also it keeps it moving, keeps it interesting. New things are happening all the time, so it's fun. But I think, yes, I agree. If you were to start Dart at one point, Saints would be perfect. The one thing I would say, though, and I don't know about this, is I'm pretty sure one of the first things Giants did this offseason was sign Tommy DeVito to a very small contract. Can you put him on your practice squad after signing him?
I think they'd still owe him the money, but they might have to
Yeah.
cut him. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, obviously, too, you have teams like the Saints who might be trading for Winston, which, again, heartbreaking.
I that would make sense to me, or even Russ if Dart starts to look really good in preseason, just have that Winston start and then just have Dart take over eventually. You get more probably trade value or something for Russell Wilson. But yeah, no, this is a tough schedule. No matter how good you guys do this season, this will be a really hard season to watch. But it'll be a great test because if Dable and Shane and Dart and everyone can keep afloat through this season, the future will be looking kind of bright. But you guys might not make it through this season.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I guess final note, Giants and Patriots have different schedules. Giants start off tough and then have kind of an easier back end. I believe the Patriots have the better setup. Get your wins early, start building that confidence, and then you go into tough games and you're like, hey, we're 6-4. We are on the cusp of playoffs. If Vrabel can go in and motivate these guys to run through brick walls, that to me feels better than, hey, we're 0-7 and we're now starting some winnable games. And Shane and Dable might be gone by that point. Dart might be starting. Kafka might be the intern head coach, and we're just like, ooh. And so you just don't know. We might be playing for Arch Manning, and he's not even coming out. So we're screwed no matter what. So you got to win these games. You got to, what I said in my video, you got to get one of these wins. You got to be 1-1. Lose to the Chiefs. You can lose to the Chargers. You're now 1-4, 1-3. Get the Saints 2-3. Lose to the Eagles 2-4. And then you got to play the Broncos and the Eagles these 2 weeks hard. And the 49ers, by the way, feels like a winnable game. Bears feels like a winnable game. We beat the Packers with Tommy DeVito. Feels like a winnable game. Lions, going to be a battle. Patriots feels like a winnable game, I'll be honest with you. And then
completely.
And so we'll see. This game's going to be so fun. You and me need to be together for this game.
Oh, completely.
Yes, we need.
No. And
it's a Monday night, which sucks, but we need to figure out how to make that work.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. We can figure something out. But as a Patriots fan, no, I get that completely. I mean, trust me. The last 3 years of Patriots football I've watched have been excruciating. That's why, again, I laugh when I went through this team, and I'm like, how did I count 11 wins twice? That's not possible. But it's just because the schedule's nice compared to where we have been recently in terms of our schedules. But no, Patriots should not bring any fear to any team, in my opinion. I love Drake May. I love Mike Vrabel. From what we've produced on the field these last couple of years, it's been pitiful. It's been horrible to watch. I mean, I've watched it all. That's the only reason why I'm critiquing it so much. I literally sat through every last Mac Jones, Bill Belichick, Bailey Zappi game. And it was as bad as it sounds. So I have faith in the Patriots, but again, I'm not going to sit here and start to say we're going to win the division or do anything good because I need to see it. We're in a completely different situation though, so I'm excited, more excited than I would be. But yeah, no,
you guys are set up
these last couple of years.
You're set up for success. If McDaniels can get May ready to go, if Vrabel can get that defense ready to go, you guys have a fighting chance at every game.
That sums up what I was saying. We're set up for success, and I feel like we have been for a minute now. But it's just been like, oh my god, I can't see this anymore.
Yeah, you guys need your coaches to start making their money. So
no, completely.
All right, and with that, I think that was basically our final topic. So is there any go backs, anything you want to add here before we close it out?
No, just if you wanted to be a Patriots fan, you always can. Giants, hard schedule. You guys are probably going to lose your head coach and your general manager this season. Dart looks terrible, so I don't know. If you want to come over, please, feel free.
I was close. This offseason, I was close. Before the draft, I was definitely close. Patriots look good. Hopefully, Giants can surprise everyone. So, but with that,
very true, very true.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Have a good one.